Far off the coast of Ecuador, where the Pacific unfurls in endless ripples of silver and blue, the Galapagos Islands rise quietly from the sea. They are a scatter of volcanic peaks, sculpted over millennia, where time seems to have slowed and the world still whispers its ancient rhythms. In this remote archipelago, nature has woven a tapestry unlike any other, where sea lions bask beneath lava arches and giant tortoises roam with the patience of centuries. It is a place that has stirred the imagination of explorers and scientists alike, where evolution is not a theory, but a living, breathing tale unfolding at the edge of the world. Here, beneath skies brushed with seabirds' wings, the boundary between land and sea blurs into a realm of quiet marvels. Black lava beaches stretch into mangrove lagoons, and coral coves glow with golden light. Each island has its own voice. Española's rugged cliffs echo with albatross calls, while Fernandina's volcanic shores steam under the midday sun. Waves lap gently at tide-carved rocks, and the air carries the warm scent of salt and stone. Every moment is layered with the sounds of nature: a marine iguana's soft splash, the rustle of dry grass under a passing finch, or the gentle whisper of wind sweeping across the open sea. This journey is not one of hurried sightseeing or crowded itineraries. It is a voyage into stillness, where the wonder of the natural world lulls the mind into restful reverie. As the story unfolds, island by island, let the rhythmic swell of the Pacific carry you along. Drift past sun-drenched coasts, coral shallows, and starlit waters. Whether imagining the slow steps of a tortoise or the quiet grace of a blue-footed booby in flight, this is a story meant to soothe, to calm, and to guide you gently into sleep, carried by the timeless currents of the Galapagos. Welcome to Bedtime Travel Stories, where soothing tales and gentle narrations take you on a tranquil journey through the world's most enchanting places, right from the comfort of your bed. Unwind and travel with us as we explore the globe one story at a time, helping you relax and drift into a peaceful sleep. San Cristóbal greets visitors with a quiet dignity. As one of the oldest islands in the Galapagos chain, it rises with rounded volcanic slopes softened by time, a gateway shaped by both wind and wave. The harbor at Puerto Baquerizo Moreno is calm and welcoming, often dotted with small boats rocking gently in the tide. Sea lions lounge on benches as if waiting for the next ferry, their sleepy eyes and lazy flippers setting the pace of life here. The air smells faintly of salt, mango, and warm basalt, and the sky seems larger somehow, uncluttered and open. Wandering the seaside promenade, one quickly notices how life coexists here, human and animal in peaceful rhythm. Marine iguanas scurry across walkways, while frigate birds glide overhead, their shadows briefly passing across cobbled paths. Cafes with shaded terraces offer fresh ceviche and icy mora juice, while brown pelicans perch on nearby railings, watching every bite with casual interest. It's not uncommon to pause mid-step as a blue-footed booby waddles across the road. There's no need to rush here. the day unfolds at nature's tempo. A short drive inland brings visitors to El Junco Lagoon, the only freshwater lake in the archipelago. Surrounded by highland mist and lush Scalesia forest, it feels like a different world from the sun-warmed coast. The wind here whispers through the treetops, and mockingbirds dart through the canopy. At the water's edge, the surface ripples gently, mirroring a sky often thick with drifting clouds. The air is cooler, touched with the scent of damp earth and moss. In the distance, the outline of the ocean still beckons. Along the shore once more, Playa Man glows in the afternoon light. Its crescent of pale sand is soft and warm beneath the feet, and its turquoise waters invite a slow wade or gentle swim. Families gather in the shallows, laughing softly, while snorkelers drift farther out to glimpse reef fish flitting among submerged rocks. The call of distant seabirds echoes off the cliffs, blending with the rhythmic hush of waves. A lone sea lion pups plays in the foam, curious and clumsy, before returning to its slumber in the sun. Evenings on San Cristóbal are gentle and golden. As the sun begins its descent, the sky ripples with hues of peach, lavender, and deepening blue. The harbor becomes a mirror, catching every shade of twilight. Locals gather on balconies and stone benches to watch the light fade. Their voices quiet, their presence still. There is peace in this repetition, the soft return of dusk, the first stars winking into being, the hush that wraps the island like a familiar shawl. Those staying overnight may find rest at eco-friendly hideaways perched on hillside terraces. One such place, Casa Apuntia, offers wide verandas shaded by acacia trees, where hammocks sway in the evening breeze. From here the ocean glimmers just beyond a curtain of palms, and the faint murmur of waves carries into sleep. The rooms smell faintly of driftwood and clean linen, and the beds feel as if made to cradle dreams. It is not luxury in the traditional sense, but in the rhythm of the natural world it is perfect. Night on San Cristóbal arrives with a blanket of stars. The Milky Way stretches clear and unbroken, its arc shimmering above the slumbering island. Cicadas begin their quiet song, and the hush deepens, interrupted only by the occasional bark of a distant sea lion. The harbor lights glow dimly, respectful of the night. Moonlight glances off the waves, and the world feels suspended, wrapped in stillness. This is a beginning, not just of a journey through islands, but a gradual release into deeper peace. The Galapagos do not demand your attention. They invite it, softly and steadily, until the world you knew before becomes distant, like the fading wake of a boat pulling out to sea. Hispaniola, the southernmost island in the archipelago, greets visitors with an elemental kind of beauty. It is dry and rugged, with wind-swept cliffs and ancient lava flows that stretch like petrified rivers across the land. The air smells of dust and ocean spray, and in the warm breeze, the rhythmic crash of waves against stone is ever present. Trails wind through scrubland dotted with Palo Santo trees, whose pale bark gleams in the sun. Their twisted forms seem to whisper old stories to the wind. This is a sanctuary for one of the archipelago's most remarkable visitors, the waved albatross. Each year, these elegant birds return to Española's Punta Suárez to nest and dance. Their courtship is a slow, deliberate ballet, filled with beak-tapping, circling, and synchronized steps that seem almost ceremonial. Watching them, one feels the weight of deep time, a connection to life's most enduring patterns. The birds are silent in flight, gliding effortlessly above the cliffs on wings nearly as wide as a human is tall. The cliffs themselves rise in black and ochre walls from the sea, battered by the ceaseless Pacific. Blue-footed boobies nest in crevices, and red-billed tropic birds dart in and out of narrow openings with sudden grace. Blowholes along the edge send up jets of seawater, each one accompanied by a low percussive thrum. The salt in the air is thick and cleansing, carried inland with every gust. Waves below churn with a thunder that never ceases, yet somehow soothes the soul. Along the inland paths, marine iguanas bask in the heat, their skin mottled with charcoal and crimson. They move with slow prehistoric elegance, sometimes sneezing out excess salt through tiny jets from their nostrils. Mockingbirds, curious and unafraid, hop alongside visitors with tilted heads and flicking wings. Overhead, a Galapagos hawk watches from a high perch, still as a statue. There's a hush here that deepens the sense of reverence, a silence that holds stories. Gardner Bay on the island's opposite shore tells a different story. The sand is powdery white and cool in the shade, stretching in a long crescent that gently cups the sea. Sea lions gather in loose clusters beneath the brush, while others drift in the shallows with a lazy grace. The water glimmers with hints of turquoise and jade, and the sky seems to press down gently, wrapping everything in stillness. In the breeze there's the faintest scent of seaweed and sun-warmed stone. Offshore, snorkelers glide among parrotfish and surgeonfish, watched with mild interest by green sea turtles and sleepy rays. The silence beneath the surface is vast and immersive, broken only by the gentle sound of one's breath. Sunlight patterns dance on the sand below, and each ripple of water feels like time folding back on itself. Above, the beach remains quiet, the world still turning in slow, wide arcs. Even the sea lion's occasional calls are softened by the distance. When evening nears, the cliffs glow amber, and long shadows stretch across the sand. The albatross return to their nests, wings tucked in, their days soaring complete. Sea lions roll into tighter circles, nuzzling into one another as the coolness settles in. The wind eases and the ocean quiets, as if the entire island is preparing for rest. A deep peace covers everything like a soft, invisible blanket. Que Española doesn't demand attention. It gently reminds. It whispers stories of patience and presence, of winds that have blown for 1,000 years, and birds that return because they know no other place on earth holds them so dearly. In this quiet sanctuary, the mind too begins to settle, as steady and untroubled as the tide. Floriana drifts at the edge of the archipelago like a half-remembered dream. Known for both its human history and natural beauty, the island is shrouded in legend. a place where whispers of pirates, mysterious disappearances, and romantic intrigue still echo across the wind-blown hills. But beneath the surface of those stories lies something softer: quiet beaches, calm lagoons, and a rhythm of life so gentle it could lull even the most restless soul. The air here seems to shimmer with a secret kind of stillness. The journey to Floriana itself feels like a passage through time. Small boats skim across open waters, and as the island grows near, its green hills rise gently above the surf. The port of Puerto Velasco Ibarra is sleepy and unassuming, with simple buildings and soft voices. Chickens wander freely through open yards, and the scent of wood smoke and sweet fruit mingles with the ocean breeze. Even the street signs feel optional, as if the island trusts visitors to simply feel their way. One of the island's most curious landmarks is the historic Post Office Bay. Established in the 18th century by whalers, the barrel here still serves as an informal postal system. Visitors leave postcards and sort through others, delivering messages by hand if their journey allows. There's something deeply human in this ritual, a quiet thread of connection stretching across oceans. The barrel, weathered and stout, stands beneath a tangle of driftwood and hand-painted signs, like a shrine to the slowness of time. Not far beyond, the island reveals its wilder self. At Punta Cormorant, trails wind through silvery forests of Palo Santo and down toward beaches of strange colors. One a shimmering green from olivine crystals, the other stark white coral sand. Flamingos feed in the brackish lagoon, their long necks bowed gracefully in the shallow waters. Their movements are slow and deliberate, framed by the stillness of the surrounding reeds. Nearby, rays glide beneath the surface, carving soft shapes in the sand. Snorkelers often make their way to the Devil's Crown, a ring of volcanic rock that barely rises above the water. Within its protected interior, marine life thrives in dazzling variety. Reef sharks, angelfish, and colorful wrasses dart through the coral, while sea turtles glide like silent sentinels. The current hums softly, and the world becomes a wash of bubbles, color, and sunlight streaming down in columns. It is a cathedral beneath the sea, one built not by hands but by time and tide. Further inland, the highlands tell older stories. Here the remnants of early settlers' farms remain, swallowed by greenery and softened by time. As one walks through the shade of tall trees and dense undergrowth, the trail becomes a meditation, each step cushioned by damp earth and leaf fall. Birds call softly from above, and the island seems to breathe. In the distance, the outline of a tortoise moves slowly through the brush, timeless and undisturbed. There is a comfort in this pace, a surrender to something older than planning. In the gentle hour before dusk, Floriana glows with amber light. Waves hush against the shore, and the hills take on the rich tones of dried tobacco and gold. The wind eases, leaving only the sound of palm fronds brushing gently against one another. The village, small as it is, begins to quiet. Doors close softly, laughter echoes once, then fades. Chickens settle in the trees, and sea breezes slip through open windows. Sleep on Floriano is accompanied by the distant rush of waves and the chorus of insects under starlight. The night is warm and still, the sky thick with stars that feel impossibly close. The air smells of salt and crushed leaves, and every breath seems to draw you deeper into a dream. The island offers no grand declarations, only the gentle reassurance that in stillness, everything is exactly as it should be. Santa Cruz is the bustling heart of the Galapagos, not in a hurried sense, but as a gentle hub where paths cross, stories are exchanged, and the rhythm of the islands gathers and swirls. The town of Puerto Ayora greets travelers with shaded streets, the aroma of grilled seafood, and the soothing echo of water lapping against the docks. Fishing boats sway gently beneath pelican watchmen, while fruit vendors stack crates of papaya and passion fruit beneath striped awnings. It is a place of soft awakenings and slow walks, where even footsteps seem to move with the tide. At the edge of town, the Charles Darwin Research Station stands as a quiet sentinel of conservation. Its shaded paths lead visitors past giant tortoise enclosures, where these ancient creatures move with ponderous grace. The air carries the mingled scent of earth, sun-warmed leaves and distant salt. Informational signs sit modestly beside trails, offering insight into life cycles and habitats, while the real education happens through stillness, standing near a tortoise as it blinks slowly, as if measuring time in centuries rather than hours. In the highlands above town, the world changes again. Humid forests drape the hillsides, and moss-laced trees arch over red dirt roads. The air is cooler, rich with the scent of damp bark and wild guava. At Rancho El Chato, giant tortoises roam freely across green fields, blending so effortlessly into the land that it's easy to miss them until they move. Their shells are streaked with the past, each line a quiet record of years lived without haste. Rain drizzles now and then, beading on leaves and shell alike. Beneath the highlands lie hidden wonders carved by lava long ago. The lava tunnels, deep and cool, stretch like silent corridors beneath the forest. Visitors wander through their cathedral-like arches, voices hushed by the echoing quiet. Shadows shift along the walls, and the earth beneath your feet is ancient and still. Each step is a reminder of how much of the island's history remains underground, unseen but deeply felt. Back near the coast, Tortuga Bay offers a long walk through arid brush and cactus groves before revealing its stunning stretch of white sand. The beach curves in a gentle arc, kissed by gentle surf, with marine iguanas sprawled along the rocks like living statues. Further down, a protected lagoon cradles calmer waters, perfect for watching black-tip sharks and stingrays glide silently past. Kayakers drift slowly, barely disturbing the surface, while herons perch along mangrove edges, watching with patience that feels contagious. Evenings on Santa Cruz are marked by golden light and a soft buzz of gathering. Locals and visitors share meals on open-air patios where grilled lobster mingles with the scent of lime and chilled white wine. Musicians strum quiet songs, their voices blending with the lull of surf and distant laughter. Lights reflect off the harbor, and the night begins to take on the shimmer of starlight long before the first stars appear. It's a place where rest arrives slowly and stays late. Those spending the night at a hillside lodge like Finch Bay or Picaya Lodge are treated to gentle luxury wrapped in silence. Windows open to green canopies or ocean views, and the furnishings echo the textures of the land, wood, stone, and soft linen. Outside, wind rustles low trees, and waves murmur against the distant cliffs. Inside, there's nothing but stillness, broken only by the occasional gecko chirp or the creak of old wood. Sleep here arrives easily, like a tide at high moon. As the stars emerge, Santa Cruz lets go of the day without ceremony. Tortoises in the hills find shelter beneath ferns. Sea lions curl into the creases of docks, and the island, in its quiet fullness, reminds every visitor that in slowness, in softness, life becomes clearer. The gentle pulse of this place settles into the breath, preparing the traveler for the next island, the next moment, and the deep stillness of dreams. North Seymour is a small island, barely a square mile in size. Yet it holds one of the most vibrant and stirring displays of life in the entire Galapagos. It rises gently from the sea, formed by uplifted volcanic rock, and is covered in low, dry scrub and spindly Palo Santo trees that shed their leaves in the heat. The landscape is quiet, sun-bleached and spare, and yet everywhere there is movement. The island breathes through its birds, and their lives fill the silence with soft rhythms of courtship, flight, and rest. Most famous among its residents are the magnificent frigate birds. The males during mating season inflate bright red throat pouches into balloon-like displays, waiting patiently beneath the sparse trees. They sit motionless, wings folded, hearts pounding while their crimson pouches tremble in the wind. A single female glides overhead, and dozens of heads tilt upward in hopeful unison. It is a delicate theater of stillness and spectacle, driven not by sound but by gesture. Elsewhere on the island, blue-footed boobies perform their comical and endearing mating dance. They lift their feet one at a time in slow, exaggerated steps, showing off their vivid cerulean soles with unwavering sincerity. The ritual is almost playful, a careful blend of balance, intention, and charm. Paired birds touch beaks, bow, and circle one another in spirals that seem choreographed by the wind itself. There's something deeply grounding in the quiet joy of it. Along the rocky paths, land iguanas bask in patches of sunlight, their thick bodies blending into the golden earth. With each breath, their chests rise and fall like the ground itself, and when they move, it's with the heavy deliberation of a creature in no hurry. The air hums with insect life, and dry leaves crackle softly underfoot. Occasionally a breeze stirs the dust, lifting it in slow swirls that drift like smoke across the flat landscape. Near the cliffs, the sea offers a contrasting world of color and motion. Swallow-tailed gulls soar above the crashing surf, and lava gulls call out from ledges worn smooth by time. The scent of salt and fish rises from the shoreline, carried inland on gentle gusts. The ocean here is a vast presence, not loud but endlessly patient, always in motion, always returning. Waves lap at stone, smoothing every roughness in time. Visitors arrive in small pangas, stepping carefully onto the rocky landing. Guides speak in low tones, more to protect the quiet than to explain it. Cameras are raised and lowered gently, as if afraid to disturb the hush. The animals are not afraid. They have known this rhythm for generations, the soft arrival of people, the stillness between, the return of night. At sunset the island turns gold, then rose, then a deepening blue. The frigate birds deflate their pouches and settle into the trees. The boobies tuck in side by side, and the iguanas withdraw into the warmth of the rocks. The last light lingers on their scales and feathers, then vanishes into the sea. The moon rises without fanfare, pale and round above the sleeping island. Shadows stretch long and slow. North Sea Moor does not shout. It listens. It invites stillness, teaches gentleness, and rewards the quiet observer with glimpses into something ancient and enduring. In this moment, where bird calls mingle with the ocean's hush and footsteps leave no mark, the soul finds something soft to rest in. Isabella is the largest of the Galapagos Islands, yet it feels the most hidden. Shaped like a seahorse and formed by the merging of 6 ancient volcanoes, its vastness unfolds slowly, as if revealing itself only to those who come with quiet intentions. Black lava plains stretch into mist-covered hills, and long stretches of beach shimmer with untouched sand. The island's rhythm is slow and deep, pulsing with the steady heart of fire and stone. It is a place where time stretches like the horizon, wide and undisturbed. The town of Puerto Villamil on the southeastern shore is a gentle welcome. Unpaved streets are lined with palm trees and small cafes that serve fresh fish and cold coconut water. Children play barefoot in the shallows, and marine iguanas sun themselves on white stone walls. The air carries the scent of grilled plantains, sea salt, and warm earth. Even the roosters here seem to crow more softly, as if aware of the island's hush. Beyond the town, the wetlands begin, a quiet maze of lagoons and mangroves where flamingos wade in still water. The mirror-like surface reflects their delicate forms, creating a doubled world of pale pink curves and ripples. Whimbrels call gently from the reeds, and the air is filled with the scent of brackish water and wet leaves. Paths meander over wooden walkways and under shaded arches of tangled green. Footsteps are muffled here and breath comes slower. Inland, the Sierra Negra volcano looms vast and silent, one of the most active in the Galapagos. Its crater stretches over 6 miles wide, a yawning expanse of black rock and mist. Reaching the rim is a quiet journey through highland forests and lava fields, where each step rises into thinning air. The wind at the top carries the faint tang of sulfur and ash, a reminder of the island's fire-forged past. The view is endless, dark plains stretching into clouded distance, silent as sleep. Back at sea level, the beaches stretch wide and wild. Playa del Amor, with its volcanic rocks and secret pools, offers moments of reflection and immersion. Water flows gently over stones warmed by the sun, and the air is filled with the scent of tide-washed minerals and sea breeze. Sea lions nap in tangled piles on the shore, occasionally lifting a flipper in their sleep. Lava lizards flick through cracks in the stone, unnoticed and unhurried. Just offshore, Tintoreras Islet lies in clear blue water, reachable by a short boat ride. Here, white-tipped reef sharks glide through narrow channels, and penguins perch on black lava ledges. The world beneath the surface is rich with movement, rays sweeping like silk across the sand, starfish resting in the shallows, and fish painting silent streaks through shafts of sunlight. The island above is stark and quiet, while below life hums. Evenings on Isabella arrive with a wide sky and a quiet that deepens by the minute. Light dims across the volcano's shoulders, and birds settle into mangroves with low murmurs. The town glows softly, as though lit from within, and the ocean grows still beneath a violet sky. Far off, the waves hiss gently onto the sand, their rhythm unchanged for centuries. Time here folds inward, cradling the day into memory. In the quiet hours, sleep comes easily. It rises like mist from the lava fields and floats gently over the rooftops. It whispers from the trees, from the sea, from the belly of the volcano itself. And as the island dreams beneath the stars, so too does the traveler, wrapped in warmth and the breath of something ancient. Fernandina is the youngest and most pristine of the Galapagos Islands, a place where the raw forces of the earth still speak clearly. The island rises like a black crescent from the Pacific, its volcanic surface unsoftened by time or human hands. Punta Espinosa, the landing point for most visitors, feels almost lunar. Sharp lava fields stretch outward in frozen waves, and vents still steam faintly in the sun. This is land in its earliest form, wild and unfinished, yet humming with unexpected life. The first thing one notices here are the marine iguanas, thousands of them, basking on the warm rock, layered like shadows upon shadows. They blend so seamlessly with the terrain that one often hears them, the hiss of breath, the sneeze of expelled salt, before seeing them. When they move, it is with slow, creeping grace, a ripple of life across stone. Their spines rise like ridgelines, and their presence makes the island feel older than time. Interspersed among the iguanas, flightless cormorants preen their short, sturdy wings. Evolved in isolation, these birds cannot fly, but in the sea they are flawless. Their emerald eyes flash in the sun, and their feathers are darker than coal. They dive for fish with effortless grace, emerging slick and silent. On land they mate and rest among the black rock pools, pairing for life in a place where change is constant. The tide pools along the coast hold miniature worlds. Bright red Sally Lightfoot crabs skitter over algae-covered stone, while sea cucumbers and starfish cling to the undersides of rocks. Each pool reflects the sky, a pocket of calm in a landscape born of fire. Hermit crabs investigate discarded shells, and the sound of gentle surf murmurs against the solid lava edge. In this setting, the ordinary becomes miraculous, a world of color framed by endless black. La Cumbre Volcano looms at the island's heart, often hidden by low clouds. Its slopes are steep and uninviting, but they pulse with quiet heat, a reminder of the island's restless core. Eruptions here are sudden and spectacular, reshaping the coastline in hours. And yet, despite this volatility, life endures. Mangroves cling to the shore. Sea lions nurse their pups on narrow beaches, and hawks wheel overhead, scanning the land below. There are no human settlements on Fernandina, no towns, no roads, no lights. As the sun moves overhead, shadows stretch and shift, and the only sounds are natural ones: wind brushing over rock, water lapping against shore, and the distant calls of birds. Visitors tread lightly, their presence fleeting. The island remains unchanged by them, as if it acknowledges their passing but does not welcome it. Here nature stands untouched and unswayed. Toward evening the light softens, casting long golden streaks across the charcoal landscape. Marine iguanas return to their stone colonies, warming themselves for the cool night ahead. The crabs retreat into crevices, and the tide pools begin to still. Even the volcano seems to pause, its breath caught between day and night. A hush settles like a blanket, and the air cools with the scent of ash, salt, and life. From aboard anchored boats, travelers watch the shoreline fade into darkness. Stars appear, piercing and bright, their light undiluted by cities or street lamps. The sea grows smooth, a mirror to the sky, and Fernandina rests, powerful, silent, and whole. It is not a place to stay, but one to remember, and in that memory the mind finds something elemental and vast. Genovesa sits far to the north, a remote crescent of land rising from the sea like a forgotten sanctuary. Its volcanic caldera has collapsed inward, forming Darwin Bay, a sheltered haven framed by soft cliffs and lapping waves. As the boat approaches, the air becomes dense with birdsong, a constant fluttering music that seems to float above the island like mist. The scent is different here, a blend of salt air, guano, and sun-warmed stone. Everything feels lighter, more ethereal, as if Genovesa itself rests on the edge of dream. A landing at the white sand beach brings visitors face to face with colonies of red-footed boobies. Perched in saltbush trees, their crimson feet glow against soft green leaves and pale blue sky. Their nests are tucked in twisted branches, and their calls echo softly between the trunks. Unlike their more famous blue-footed cousins, they climb rather than strut, moving with odd grace through the branches. Nearby, swallow-tailed gulls watch silently with moon-bright eyes, resting between flights on the shaded sand. The trail that leads inland winds through a field of lava rock and low shrubs. Known as Prince Philip's Steps, this narrow stone staircase ascends to the plateau above the bay. Each step is carved from the cliff itself, and the breeze grows cooler as one climbs. At the top, the world opens into a surreal plain dotted with storm petrels dancing in mid-air. Short-eared owls, their feathers dusky and silent, glide low over the rocks, hunting in daylight, rare and quiet predators in a land of light. The plateau is a place of contrast and stillness. The rock beneath the feet is warm and pocked with time. Frigate birds wheel high above in slow spirals, while Nazca boobies sit patiently beside their nests, heads tilted as if in thought. There is no human infrastructure here. No signs, no benches, only a sense of vastness and delicate harmony. The wind whistles through the brush and carries the breath of the sea across the barren ground. In this silence, even small sounds feel sacred. Darwin Bay below remains visible, a quiet pool held within the crescent of the island. Kayakers sometimes glide its waters, their paddles dipping gently without sound. Sea lions lounge along the inner rocks, their sleek bodies rising and falling with the tide. Underwater, the world is equally alive. Parrotfish, damselfish, and spotted eagle rays move through coral shadows. Snorkelers drift slowly, surrounded by flickers of color and quiet, distant echoes from above. As the day softens, the sun casts long shadows across the high plateau. The birds settle, their calls growing quieter, more infrequent. A red-footed booby tucks its head under a wing, and the owls retreat into hidden nooks in the stone. From the top of the cliffs, the ocean stretches in all directions, gold fading to blue and then to darkness. The last light lingers on the wings of a frigate bird, gliding once more before sleep. Boats at anchor sway gently in the bay as the stars begin to appear. The water reflects their shimmer, turning the dark sea into a slow spinning sky. The island recedes into shadow, its cliffs outlined against the stars, a quiet cradle of wings and wind. Nothing stirs but the sea, the occasional splash of a nightfish, and the slow exhale of the night itself. Genovesa does not seek to be known. It reveals itself only in silence, in softness, in the language of flight and stone. And in its stillness, it grants a kind of peace that lingers long after the visitor has returned to the waking world. Santiago Island lies like a page torn from a geological storybook, dark, layered, and gently folding back through time. Its coasts are shaped by old lava flows, their surfaces frozen mid-movement, rippled and swirled like cooled molasses. At Puerto Egas, tide pools form natural mirrors, each holding a tiny glimmering world of anemones, sea urchins, and darting fish. The scent of brine and minerals hangs in the air, and footsteps crunch softly on the black sand. Along the path, fur seals rest in shadowed grottos carved by the sea, blinking slowly in the filtered light. The walk inland takes visitors across hardened lava fields that resemble twisted sculpture gardens. The silence is deep, save for the calls of hawks and the low rustle of wind. Each crack and crevice tells a story of fire and flow, of eruptions long past, preserved like a memory beneath the sun. Cacti rise from the stone like sentinels, rooted in places that seem impossible. The ground beneath your feet still radiates a subtle heat, as though the earth hasn't forgotten its molten core. Sea lions lounge along the western coast, their bodies stretched across the rocks in elegant arcs. They grunt and roll, shifting with the rising tide, occasionally slipping into the water with barely a splash. Sally Lightfoot crabs, brilliant red against black stone, scuttle between them with nervous energy. The ocean is never far, always pulsing, always present, its breath soft and steady against the land. In this place, land and sea do not oppose, they entwine. A short boat ride to the tiny islet of Sombrero Chino reveals another quiet marvel. Shaped like a broad-brimmed hat, the island is ringed with white sand and sharp black rock. Galapagos penguins nest here, darting between boulders and diving into the sea with graceful speed. Along the edge, lava herons step slowly across tidal shelves, their eyes fixed, their movements calculated. The islet feels like a whisper, small and precise, a punctuation mark to Santiago's sweeping chapter. Snorkeling in the channel between the two islands brings yet another world into view. Reef sharks glide silently through canyons of coral, and sea turtles drift like leaves on a current. Rays pass in silent formation across the seafloor, and schools of silver fish part gently, making space without sound. The sun filters down in shafts, illuminating underwater caves and casting dancing patterns on the sand. It is a lullaby of movement and light. Evening settles quickly in this part of the archipelago. As the tide rises, the animals retreat. Crabs vanish into crevices, birds fold into rock shelves, and sea lions gather close. The sky takes on a muted lavender glow and the sea turns to glass. A quiet descends that is deeper than silence, a pause in the world itself. And in this hush, the land seems to breathe more slowly, as if preparing to sleep. Aboard anchored boats, travelers watch the silhouettes of both islands soften into the twilight. The wind carries a coolness touched with salt and stone, and the scent of night begins to rise. Stars shimmer into view one by one until the sky blooms with constellations. The sea mirrors their dance, broken only by the gentle sway of hulls and the ripple of unseen fish below. Santiago and Sombrero Chino do not compete for attention. They simply are. Steady, ancient, and slow. In their stillness, they offer a reflection of something we too often forget: the beauty of waiting, of listening, of simply being present for the tide to rise and fall. The Galapagos are more than a collection of islands. They are a living lullaby of wind, wave, and slow footsteps on ancient stone. Each island, with its distinct voice and rhythm, contributes to a story older than any one traveler, yet quietly welcoming to all. From San Cristóbal's harbor to Fernandina's lava fields, from Española's soaring albatross to Genovesa's whispered cliffs, the archipelago offers something deeper than sightseeing. It offers stillness, a soft pause in time, a return to breath and being. In these faraway lands, the animals do not flee. They rest, they wade, they nest unhurried, untroubled by the presence of people. There is no need to speak loudly, to rush, or to do. Here even the volcanoes sleep between awakenings, and the sea turtles trace slow paths beneath the moon. The stars wheel overhead in silence, and the waves repeat their ancient song. To drift through the Galapagos is to be held gently, endlessly, by the planet itself. So now, as your mind floats across saltwater bays and volcanic slopes, may you carry this calm with you. Let the scent of mangroves, the sound of sea lions breathing, and the hush of seabirds returning to roost linger in your thoughts. The journey may end, but the rhythm remains, a gentle reminder that peace can be found in patience and wonder in stillness. Rest now with the memory of the Galapagos wrapped around you like a tide. We hope you enjoyed today's serene journey and found peace in our gentle narration. Do join us next time as we make a relaxing visit to another of the world's most iconic places. Sweet dreams and safe travels until we meet again.